So I was about to record the next cast, but I actually had one of my first comments. By the way, Killian HD. You were actually one of the first comments I've had on my YouTube channel. So welcome. Um, but you've basically asked a very important question. You've asked, I am a League player and have no clue what the fuck is going on in this game, and I've hit Challenger a few times in League. I'm so lost. That is incredible. That's incredible that you've made it to Challenger, guys. Killian, it's absolutely incredible that you've made it to Challenger. That's actually fucking sick. You should be really proud of yourself for that one. And if I were you, I would tap out. I would just tap out of gaming, pro gaming, or whatever, competitive gaming. I would just tap out right there. Be like, I'm good. But anyway, that's you're here to learn about Dota, and I know a fair chunk about Dota. Now, if I was coming from League, what would be my best recommendations? That's the question here. I'm gonna say, if anything, just approach it as if it's a completely fresh game. There are similarities. Sure, they're both top-down perspective. You're playing as heroes. Hero units. You've got abilities. You're killing creeps. Like it's similar, right? It's similar, but at the same time, they are both completely different games. Functionally, they are completely different. Like for example, you guys in League don't have a thing called buyback. Now this is one of the most critical things that is so overlooked when it comes to the League Dota comparison. Most people are like, "Oh, Punch has a longer hook than Blitzcrank," but that's not that was just my stupid voice for some typical geek. Buyback is one of the most important mechanics in the game when it comes between League and Dota, in my opinion. You know, there is this function in League in Dota. Sorry, there's this function in Dota where if you buy back, if you can sacrifice a chunk of your gold that you have built up to instantly respawn into the game. It can be game changing. It's if used at the right time, the enemy might commit. They might commit thinking it's going to be a 4v5 fight, but then you buy back into the game, maybe perform a sick 5-man ult as I don't know Enigma. So Enigma is like that guy beginning with M in League, where he does this kind of big AoE that stuns everyone in that AoE. It's called Black Hole, if that helps you picture it any better. But a 5-man black hole, you can't really get any better than that. That's what it is. But there's so much stuff there is so much stuff. The game is so complex that there's no point making one guide about it because it's just a waste of time. It's not actually going to help you improve. And what you have to do, in my opinion, is you just have to play. You just have to play it and suck. that's the honest truth. You just have to play and suck for a bit. Yeah, you're probably going to pick the game quite up quick. You're going to probably pick the game up quite quickly compared to other players because you come from Challenger, by the way. And let me put that into perspective for any non-league players. Challenger is like the highest rank. It's like immortal, I guess, for us. But I think even Challenger is renowned as being harder to get to than immortal. So kudos to that guy. I could go on and on about this game, but honestly, there's nothing that's really gonna help apart from just playing it. Because also, in me telling you how to play the game is going to it's going to distort how you play, how you learn the game, how you understand the game. You know, I might have some bad um, I might have some bad habits that I might be rubbing off on you by telling you how to play the game. So it's much better that you just install the game and play, and you're just gonna have to accept. You're just gonna have to take the losses. You have to learn what it's. You're gonna have to relearn a game, know what it's like to lose, and lose a lot until you start winning, until you start getting those kills, until you start, getting those killing sprees, those There's triple kills. There's quad kills. Whatever. There's rampages. I mean, you wish you'd get a rampage with under 100 games. So when you see a player with 100 games and he's getting a rampage, you know something's up. And I'm not. I'm gonna be real with you here. That means he's a Smurf. It's not even close. He's obviously gonna be a Smurf. Don't be one of those guys that gives him the benefit of the doubt. No one's getting a rampage under 100 games, guys. No one's. No, no. I'm not even gonna entertain the fact. Unless you are literally the chosen one, you are not getting a rampage until at least your 1,000th game. If you get it before then I think you're well on your way to becoming immortal. Rampage, by the way, is five kills. It's the entire team. It's the entire enemy team. It's very hard to get because everyone is kill hungry in this game. Doesn't matter what rank you. It doesn't matter what role you are. You know, the pos 5 on your team wants that finger. He wants that kill as much as you. He's not going to hold back. And there's a lot of griefing in this game. And as a new player, it's quite hard to detect when someone's actually griefing, in my opinion. There's a lot of toxicity, and you've got to know how to use that mute button. You know, these are good habits, 100%. Like I did not use the mute button for a while, and I can tell you, for me, it was critical that I used that mute button. I smash that report button now whenever anyone does an inkling, just a tiny, tiny little bit of griefing or anything I don't like, just smash it. Smash the report button, smash the mute button, and just carry on with your game. You know, I don't care at this point. It's just another drop in the ocean as far as the player base goes. You know, so there is that. I need to uninstall Origin launcher because it keeps popping up. I don't like pop-ups. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit carried away, but there's not much more. I would say there's much more for me to say here, apart from maybe go ahead. I would pick like one hero that you think looks cool, and just try and learn them. Basically, that is what I would do. Treat it like a fighting game almost, you know, because even in fighting games, right, you've got the complex and easy characters, but actually it doesn't make a damn bit of difference, you know. You could start on the easiest possible champion like Ogre Magi and learn him as best as you possibly could. But then you just get bored of Ogre Magi and stop playing the game. So best to pick maybe it's different. No, it's different from my game. I can't compare them. Maybe it's not the best advice. Maybe the best advice is just to well, you'll start an unranked. For the first 100 hours, you're going to start an unranked. So you may as well just use the random button. You may as well use random or queue single draft. Single draft's actually a really decent way of learning the game, or at least learning heroes. You know, there's levels to this game though of understanding. Learning your hero is just the first step, and there's so many steps to learning your hero, like opening the shop, for example. I'm sure it's confusing for new players, and I don't know why now because I'm way beyond that. But I remember it being confusing to me at 1.2. I remember I started playing this game before I even knew what hotkeys were in gaming. I was a clicker. I would click the ability bar. I would click portal key. I would click blink dagger and right click because I had been right clicking all game. So what I was doing was I would select blink dagger and be cancelling it. That's all I was doing. So when someone revealed to me I had to left click after selecting it, my mind was blown. But then someone revealed to me what hotkeys were. So, you know, this is over years and years and years. And I was a very casual gamer to begin with. You know, this game has changed me. It has changed me. For better or for worse. You know, when Arteezy said in one of his streams, married to the game, he was absolutely not lying. You know, if you're in it for the long haul, it can be like it can feel like that. Sometimes it's an absolute love-hate relationship, and another thing because of buyback and all the things I've mentioned so far, the games can get very, very long. Be prepared for it. That's what I would say. That's all I would say. Be prepared, and yeah, the unexpected will hit you. And you're not going to know what's going to go on. You're not going to know what's going on. And in fact, I've got to the end of this video now, and I don't think I've helped you at all. Really, because I agree. Even with all I've said so far, you still won't have a fucking clue what's going on. You know, I have a better guide. The best guide. Watch my casts. Watch my casts, and I'll explain to you this game. Yes, yes. Anyway, that's me signing off. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and take it easy, guys. I don't know what's going on with the camera. It looks like I'm in like some sort of like heavenly realm. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will be doing another cast very shortly.